Well, hi, this video's from home. Uh, Here's our giraffe. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in the bones, the shaping of the giraffe in kind of a muted, oh, should we call it purple? It's a almost like a purpley gray. And so here's one that's that far along. So I've got some value almost everywhere. There are some places I wanted to pay more attention to than others because we're going to put layers of color on top of this. So I don't want to go too dark with it. I've got a lot that are just a light to mid-tone, and then I've got a few areas that are really pretty dark, either because I wanted to kind of hold an edge, or there was just a place I thought, I'll go a little dark there. Also, I wanted to do the eyes. And what you will notice here is that you've got the eyeball, but you also have a lower lid that is a lighter colored skin that has like eyeliner underneath it. Isn't that wild? And then you've got these great eyelashes, but this is also a dark marking up here. It looks like an eyeliner marking. So it's like the giraffe is wearing makeup. Don't know what else to say. The giraffe is wearing makeup. Okay, so I've got this to look at. I wonder if I can put this where it'll show. I don't think that's going to work very well. No, it's really not. Maybe if I fold it right here. How about that? And I have color here. So there's two ways to do this. I have a tube of Moon Glow. In fact, I have a very large tube of Moon Glow that I can loan out to classes. And this is what Moon Glow looks like. It's a mixture of three colors. And they separate, which is a nice effect, but the way that we're working on a giraffe, the separation's not going to be very noticeable. So you could just work with something approximately that color. I happen to have mixed some, let's see, which one is it? Oh, it's this one. Some indigo with some rose. I just don't have it thinned out enough. But this is pretty close to the same color. Maybe it needs a touch more rose in it. Anything close-ish would do. So I'm going to work with the Moon Glow because I've got it handy and I don't have to. What I would suggest is if you're doing that, you might want to mix up enough color that you've got a batch to do the whole giraffe, which I didn't. But also, I just happen to like the Moon Glow. So that's the only color that I'm working with, so you don't really have to see it. And I'm using a number 6 black velvet brush, round. Okay, which I bought some extras of that, so I have loaners if someone doesn't have that. So one of the things I noticed is that if I just skip around on this giraffe, it can have some pretty ugly stages, which are depressing, and I don't like being depressed. I'm funny that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with the eyes. And I could, if I think to, leave a highlight there, which we can always add that in later. I'm probably not going to be very fast at this. I'm probably going to work more like a normal speed. I've filmed myself doing well, I can't talk and do this. I filmed myself doing a different one. It's on the back side of this. And for a class demo, and it was not pretty. So I decided that I needed to do it again. So here's my eyeliner. And I might make it a little bit lighter or darker than the eyeball just so I can tell them apart. Although it's really not that important at this stage either way. That highlight is too big. It looks like the white of an eye, which we don't have a white of the eye here. So I'm going to go ahead and I can leave just a tiny spot. That'll work. Okay, like that. Now the area under here, this bit of built-in makeup. Oh. Well, that's a little clumsy, but it works. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little something around the eyelid there. Okay, so let's go over here. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I am only going to paint one side of the giraffe because I need the other side for a class. All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead and do the inside of the ear because, you know, it helps to kind of warm up on something. And so we're picking some of the easier spots first. I'm going to pre-wet the inside of the ear. I'm not going all the way to the edges or anything. I'm just getting it kind of some extra water there in the middle. And with this little brush, I'm not going to get too much water probably. So I'm going to pick up a little paint. Whoa, that's pretty strong paint there. Let's see. Now, if I had paid attention and looked at the ear, this ear doesn't have a whole lot of dark shadow in it. Well, it didn't have. It does now. Maybe I like that. So, I've got the wrong kind of paper towel. Ignore this. Okay. So, I'm going to pull this out and soak up a little color. Now, you can see on this Moon Glow, when I dropped it into the water, there are some areas, it's just slightly bluer in some areas and a little more reddish in other areas. It's not very noticeable, and it probably won't make any difference in the finished piece. I dropped enough water off my brush. I'm getting a back run right there. See, when I just smoothed this out, I had water on my brush, and it was enough to start pushing the paint back that way. So I might actually like that, but I'm going to show you. I washed my brush out, and I'm going to get the extra water off of it like that. See, I didn't touch the tip of the brush. And I'm going to come in here maybe and just tickle it around just a little bit to get it to not have that run back. Now, I think run backs are fine on a lot of things, including a giraffe ear, but I think it's more important for me to show you how not to do that. Okay, so let's go. Okay, another primary area where a lot of people have gotten confused is where the nostrils are. See, you've got this it's a big brown furry lips. A lot of lip here. And then you've got the nostrils right up here. So we want to be sure and get those in the right place because that can be a little confusing when you look at your giraffe down here. Can you see the giraffe? Yeah, you can see the giraffe. So I'm going to put that in kind of strong, but the important thing here is to work wet enough that the paint is flowing off the brush, because along with everything else, it helps that it's wet enough that some of it can sink down in the paper. If it's too dry, then when you work on top of it, it's all going to run. So by working wetter, you're getting more color to stay where you put it originally. Let's see. There. And over here. And by the time this has been worked on top of for a while, you'll have softer edges on it. So I don't really have to make soft edges on it right now. Okay, so we have that. Oops, I was only going to do one nostril. Well, so let's see. We could start now up here at the top of the horns and work our way down. How's that sound? One way to handle this might be to add some water here. Again, I'm not adding it all the way to the edges, and I'm not being terribly picky with it. And I'm just going to pick some kind of mid-tone color here. See, I've got kind of a, yeah, you can see there's some of the blues and greens that have separated out here. But I'm just getting something about this kind of concentration. And let's see what that does. Whoops. So I'm taking my brush and kind of doing that. He's got these little pointy things up here. Looks like some kind of stiff hairs are growing at the top part of the horn. And we'll just add a little color here. Down so far. Now, the interesting thing about these horns, strange-looking horns, is that they have, I've emphasized it here, so I'm going to show you with this rather than the photo. They have kind of segments here. So you can see there's an area there. It's not really a segment. It's just skin or something overlapping. But there's an area there and there before you get to the top of the head, which is sort of a bony ridge coming down over the eye. Then there's this bony ridge right down the middle of the forehead to the nose. Okay, so we can work on that. Let's just see here. I tell you what, let's just keep doing this with adding water. Well, my tape didn't work out very well there. Okay, I've lost my other green tape. It's right under my nose somewhere. We'll just add a little water. And again, it's unlikely that you'll add too much water with this brush simply because it doesn't hold a lot. And in this particular case, that's the safer move. So I'll just come along the edge of the head a little bit just to define where it is. Oh, well, we're not going to leave it like that. I'm washing my brush out, and I just sort of raked it off. Let's just come in here now and soften this some more. You can pull it out. If you leave some little bitty light areas here and there, that's good. Because the other thing we have to talk about on this is the contour wrinkles. Yeah, contour wrinkles. First I'm going to, there's color here and there's color here and it comes down over the eye. This is almost like pre-planning some of the shaping and some of the local color, but or I should say the markings. Fade it out a little bit. See there? We're getting a giraffe shape. Okay, I'll just add a little more right there, a little more water. And we'll come in and I'm working from some relatively fresh paint that it's pretty easy to get something dark off of it. Of course, this is a relatively dark color too, so that helps. Okay, so I'm doing an area at a time. See, I haven't done this area. I'm going to let this other dry. So I'm working the top here. Okay, I'll just let that go for now. And let's come down here. And I think I really, all right. I'm gonna wet the nose. And these nostrils are gonna run a little bit. And that'll be just hunky-dory. Haven't said that in a bunch of years. Okay, so coming off the nose right here, it almost looks like it was gathered in like some kind of rag doll, cloth doll. You can see the wrinkles right here. We want some of those. So, there, we've got those. Well, we can't leave that looking like that, can we? I took most of the water off my brush, and I'm gonna smooth out the area that's right above the upper lip, and then I'm going to gently pull some of this out. I think I'll leave it right like that. So I'm not going to do the whole upper lip right now because it would run into the nose. You can't have your lip running into your nose. So let's talk about contour wrinkles. This is so great because this giraffe has got all kinds of wrinkles. And see right here over the eye, and over here there's something coming around on the horn. Whoops, let me move it a little bit. Coming around right here on the horn. We also have spots that look elongated. They look skinny and long, and they're like that because of the shape of the head. So they're more oblique to us, and that actually also tells you about the shape of the head, just like these contour wrinkles. Love that. Also show shape around here. So let's put in some contour wrinkles and some contour spots. So what I'm going to do here, I had this brilliant idea that for my demo, I will show some contour lines on this side that would actually go on top of this. And then for my class demo, I'll do just the opposite. Wait a minute. You know what I could do? I could go dry this. Take a break.